I am so excited to be dropping in for the Holy Sacred Masterclass. If you're here with us live, be sure to say hello. Hello, Facebook. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome. Welcome to the Holy Sacred Commitment Masterclass. You being here is simply your devotion to who you are and who you're becoming. I'm going to invite my Instagram community to join us. If you're here live, say hello into the comments and let us know where you're coming in from. Hello, Instagram fam. I'm taking you behind the scenes into the Holy Sacred Masterclass. If you're here live, be sure to say hello, ask any questions as we grow along. I have so much that I want to give, to share. And as you begin to drop in, just knowing that being here is your devotion to who you are and who you're becoming. This is the evolution of I'm coming back home to my heart, to my soul, to the calling to remember who I am, so that you can uncover and rediscover your gifts as we begin to dust off the cobwebs, the dirt, and anything that is clouding us from seeing the greatness that we are. God, source, universe, birthed us into existence the way that we are for a reason. And when we're able to own all that makes us, all that makes you, you will stand out. You will shine. You will be noticed. You will be seen for who you are. But first, it's about seeing yourself. We're going to uncover what it means to renew your vows with you. The lies, the malas that we tell ourselves, and how we can truly begin to own our gifts, embody our confident, radiant, and most magnetic selves so that we can be a force of change in the world, but the change happens with ourselves. The way in which you see the external world is a mere reflection of the way in which you see you. And when you can hold the duality of your greatest gift and that one thing you want to shove away into the closet, you are going to attract more into your life. My invitation is for you to grab a journal, a pen, your favorite beverage, and set up your space to really anchor in. You're investing literally the most valuable thing that you have in your life, and that is your time. Something that you will never, ever get back. Do yourself the favor and be fully here. Shut off all other distractions and let that be your reflection, your devotion to your service, to help others in your life, in your business, your family. A little bit about me. My name is Amber Hagberg. For those of you that are new here, I would love to hear how you found me. And those that have been here for a while, say hi. Let me know that you're dropping in. That's really what I love. I've been living in the jungle now for 7.5 years in Costa Rica, and it's the connection that we get to have online. I'm a life coach, business mentor, lifestyle mentor for women who are passionate about becoming the best versions of themselves, passionate about helping others. You're devoted to your own human evolution. And you know that the more work you do on you is the ripple that begins to make massive waves in the world. Last year, I became a mama. My son just turned 1 year old in March, just last week, March 16th. I wrote a journal during the COVID-19 lockdown while I was in India in an ashram, sold over 500 copies. I'm a podcast host on Amplified Impact. If you're listening to this now on the podcast, be sure to come say hi on Instagram. I love the earth. I love taking care of our planet. I love giving to children and the education and really focusing the energy on conserving what we have in the future, raising amazing humans and conserving the impact. What I leave behind through recycling, giving back to the earth and water conservation. I've been devoted to my own inner growth for the last 10 years, a whole decade now. Multi-six figures in my business, worked with over 200 women online, hosted dozens of yoga retreats. All of this is coming from a girl who 7 years ago didn't believe it was possible that I could be leading retreats, that I could have a business, that I could do this. And so I know what happens when you devote to your inner relationship with yourself and how that shifts what it is that you have in your life. The way that you feel about yourself is mirrored back to you and what you have in the outer world. And that's what we're going to dive in today. The invitation is for you to forget about all the classes, the studies, the books that you've taken on self-love, confidence. Let go of the stories about who you were or what you've done. And let this be the invitation to take everything as if you've never been in this conversation before. And again, as a symbol, as a reflection of your commitment to becoming the best you there is, shut all distractions off. So what is a vow? What is a commitment? Solemnly promising to do a specific thing. Asking yourself in your heart, in your journal, you can write down, what is your commitment? What is your vow? What are you declaring? And can you say it out loud? What is the commitment that you wish to have and to hold with you? And have you ever made this commitment to yourself? Or is this the first time? And if you've ever made a commitment and you didn't hold it, what happened? And how did that make you feel? And why is this time going to be different? The question is, what holds us back? What keeps us from being the best version of ourselves? What keeps us from going after what it is that we desire and what it is that we want? Or rather, what is it that we deserve? Contemplate that. And if you're here with us live, put it into the chat. What do you think holds you back from going after what it is that you want? The concept of a mala is to be a phlegm, to be dirty, to be dusted, where we can't actually see things as they are. There's this saying, you don't see the world as it is, You see the world as you are. And if your vision is clouded, it's dusty, you're not seeing the truth. And my intention of this masterclass is to clear off the dust so that you can see your greatness, so that you can see just how magnetic and radiant you are when you look at your heart and your soul and the gift of you being here and all that Source God has given you. Ananava is a clouding of perception that we have in ourselves. It's cloudy where it's a lack or not enough. And how could you be confident and radiant if you don't feel like you're enough? How could you keep a commitment, a vow to yourself, if you don't feel worthy or if you feel lack of? Can you imagine if you didn't think your partner was enough? How could you be committed and devoted to giving to him, to her, when it gets hard? That's the beauty of a marriage, right? We go into it and we get to see both sides of them, and we let them see both sides of us. When we're able to hold both sides of who we are, we allow others to hold that in us. But how would you show up into a relationship if they weren't enough? They weren't worthy. And this is where we begin to hide and to play small. We hide parts and pieces of ourselves that we fear if anyone knew or if anyone saw, that it wouldn't be enough. When you're able to hold all of that for you, you begin to love who you are in all of you. The first mala that clouds our ability to be seen ourselves is delusion from self-obsession, insecurity, or lack of self-esteem. This happens when we become so obsessed with ourselves. It's like you get so focused on all of your flaws that you absolutely cannot see the whole picture. It's like you're presenting a class, you're teaching yoga, you're cleaning the house, and you focus on the one thing where it went wrong, the one thing you didn't do, quote unquote, right, instead of seeing all aspects of the entire presentation, the entire kitchen, the entire class. So instead of you seeing all of who you are, you focus on your thick thighs or your big boobs. You focus on the stretch marks or the zit on your face. You hone in on that one thing that you decided it's not enough. And then what happens when we focus on that one thing? We magnify it, we amplify it, it gets bigger. And when it gets bigger, everything else gets smaller. And this can be what happens if you've ever suffered, like I have, with body dysmorphia. It doesn't matter how small you get, because you're focusing on all the big parts of you. And that no matter how small you got, there would always be a part that you hone in on and make it bigger. When we look at our Nanava Mala, it's so important that we have a tribe, a coach, a mentor, a community of friends that we trust. They can be like, hey, snap out of that. Don't do that to yourself again. Why are you doing that again? Someone to remind us of the lies that we're telling ourselves. Some journal questions for you, contemplations in this mala is, what are some of your insecurities? What are some of the things you think about yourself or that you've thought about yourself that you would never want anyone to know, that you're trying to keep a secret? And that the secret you're trying to keep just keeps getting bigger and bigger and on your mind more and more because you're focusing on it. What lies have you been telling yourself that simply just aren't true? We shift into Maya Imala, which is deception. When you're clouded by this mala, you tend to play small. You're afraid of what other people will think. It's like in the honeymoon stage where the oxytocin is high and you hide parts and pieces of yourself. Because if they knew, if they saw, if they thought, they wouldn't like you. So you get them hooked. And then 6 months in, you start to reveal yourself. And they're like, you've changed. You're different. But it's only because now it's like an acting out. Because you've been bottling up that part of you that's part of you, rather than trusting that it's safe to be you. A really good example I have of this is in a relationship I was in, where he made everyone love him. He was so charismatic. I can't think of the word right now. Charismatic. There it is. Charismatic. Everyone loved him, but behind closed doors, outside of the public eye, to me and his mother, he was just such a different person. Or there was this one time I found a joint in my dad's car, and I was like, Megan, sister, this is great. This is weed. Our dad smokes weed. And it's like, have you ever gotten to a point in your life where you're like, holy crap, my parents are just human. And when you realize that your parents are human, you start to forgive them for all the times that you judge them. In this mala, it's you giving yourself permission to be human, as well as others permission to be human. Maya Imala, when we're clouded by this cloak, we tend to keep our thoughts, our feelings, and our opinions inside because we're afraid of what other people will think. We're afraid of not being liked. This happens within relationships where you start to just stay quiet because you don't want to cause problems. And if you get too wrapped up into this mala, you'll tend to lie and be dishonest, not only with yourself, but with others. It's like if you go out to a restaurant and you only order certain foods when you're around certain people. You go with vegans and you just eat vegan. You go with meat eaters, you eat meat, etc., etc. To demollify this, to clean this cloak off, it has to be a commitment to yourself, a devotion, to be honest, no matter what the consequences are. This is the practice of surrendering and letting go of what other people think as a vow for you to live a truthful life. It's like in the beginning of a relationship, everyone holds their farts, their burps, their morning breath in. They wake up, they do their hair and their makeup. And then as time goes on, it's like, yeah, this is my morning face. This is my morning breath. And you stop trying to hide your humanness. It doesn't matter who you love or who you look up to. They poop, they pee, they puke. Their breath smells in the morning. That's inevitable. Your mouth is closed all night long, and where we disperse the toxins is in the mouth. So through the breath, we're releasing toxins all day long. And at night, we're breathing through the nose. The mouth is full of toxins. You have a stinky morning breath. When you want to clean this mala off, you start to show all of yourself and all of your flaws. Have you ever kept your thoughts, feelings, or opinions to yourself because you were afraid when you spoke you wouldn't be liked? Do you try to fit into the crowd, to people please? Do you pretend to like certain things around certain people? Do you dress differently than you'd like to? What are a few examples in your personal life where you knew that you were lying, that you were holding back? And is there something that you need to shift today, right now? The final mala that I'll share with you is the karma mala. This is the confusion mala, where you become completely powerless because you can't do anything. You don't act, you don't change, you don't put in the work. You completely unplug. You disconnect from the problem rather than finding the solution. It's when life gets so overwhelming, you just shut down and shut off. This is the combination of Ananava Mala and Mayi Mala. And in order to clear off the cloak of this mala, you have to address both malas. This means you have to deal with yours so that you don't explode. I talk about this like a hot water bottle in the back of your car. If you don't open it, that water bottle will explode. The other day we were cleaning our house. My husband left a lighter on top of the car in the hot sun and it exploded. If you don't deal with your emotions, things will start to boil up and it's going to affect everyone in your world. If you don't look at what is holding you back, you're going to be a problem to other people. It's like someone who has absolutely no savings, doesn't want to work, and then gets sick. And now you're not prepared for when life happens and someone else has to save you and take care of you. Karma mala is when you hit rock bottom, and you do not have to hit rock bottom to have a wild comeback. You can choose to turn your life around right now. And as we clear up and unfog, demystify this mala, just know that you're not alone. Know that you don't have to do this alone. Ask for help. Get support. Get in the room with other people who expand you and show you what's possible for you. These malas hold us back from what it is that we truly desire and the ability to go after it. This feeling or idea that we aren't enough, that if only I was this, if only I had this, if I was more like her. When we start looking outside of ourselves to fill a hole of not enoughness, we always are going to feel empty. And if you're looking outside of you, how can anything truly fill you up when what's inside of you already isn't enough? How can your relationships and career, your work in the world be enough? How can you show up as the highest version of you if it's always not enough? So solution, what can we do? And what does it really mean to love ourselves? To always feel confident, radiant, and amazing? Well, being honest, that's not possible. Even the ones we see on Instagram or TV, the ones we look up to and idolize, are humans. There are no pedestals because we are all human. And what makes a leader or someone that you see in your world standing out? What makes a woman with a vision different than just your average is that she loves herself on the days where she feels like, She loves herself even when she doubts her abilities. And she's the one that has the ability to hold her humanness, to hold the days where she doesn't feel confident or enough, giving herself permission to be human and to feel her feelings, validating what's rising. She holds the fear and takes action anyways, because she knows when she shows up on the hardest days, she shines brighter when she does. Being human, can you allow yourself to be human? Can you give yourself permission to be perfectly imperfect? Gone are the days where we strive for perfection. Right now, it's the time to devote yourself to becoming the best version of you, a practice to begin showing up for yourself every single day with acceptance, love, kindness, and compassion. It's the beginning with the relationship that you hold with yourself. When you know that the most important relationship you have is the one that you have with you, when you know the value of taking time for yourself, you know you're worth it, regardless of the fluctuating human emotions. Because look at the flip side. What happens when you don't know your worth? Your relationships struggle. You project outward. You blame onto others. Being a victim to your story. How can you show up as the best version of you to be a magnetic leader? This is where everything shifts when you take radical ownership for what you feel, and then you act to do something different. If you're ready to make the commitment to being the best version of you, ready to renew your vow to you, it's always important to come back to why, your sankalpa. This is the most important question you can ever ask yourself. Because if you don't have a why, even on the shitty days, you aren't going to show up. So with me right now, read out loud your commitment from the beginning. What are you declaring? And when you have it, can you read it to yourself in the mirror? And then check in with how that feels in your body. Is it something that you can feel and get completely behind? I'm going to share with you a handful of ways you can infuse self-love into your life. And some of you already do. There's ones where we may need to give more attention to, just depending on where we're at in our lives right now. Begin to look for evidence. Look for evidence of how you are already enough. Where have there been times in your life where you felt confident and radiant? What was your life like? Where were you at? Where was your energy? Was it circumstantial that you felt this way? Was it because you had this, because you were doing this? Or was it something that you felt without external things? Can it be something that you find within your body to find the evidence? And then when you feel it in your body, you remember this time. Spend your thoughts remembering these moments. So much that you begin to activate it again. You get to turn it on again right now. To feel it again. And the more that we feel it again, the closer that it is. And then I want you to think about, like, when you get compliments, praises, times where you were noticed. Was it enough? Did you feel it? Did you give yourself permission to accept it? But most importantly, like, when you get compliments, recognition, noticed, is it something that you rely on to feel enough? Is it something that you have to be enough? For some of you, you can remember yesterday getting compliments. You can remember last year getting compliments. You can remember feeling so confident and radiant yesterday. Or maybe something happened in your life months, years, decades ago that was ingrained into you. And now there's a lot of work doing the hard thing to really look inside. I remember I was about 12 years old, and my stepsister called me a fat ass. And I had just hit puberty. I was about 40 pounds overweight. And for so many years, I just always felt fat. No matter how skinny I got. I remember there was one time my family was bribing me to lose weight with a new wardrobe. I was starving myself. I fainted at a cash register in Kmart. But I still lost all the weight, got all new clothes. I still didn't feel enough. I still was putting on a show. And it had nothing to do with who I had been at that moment. It was the moment that I got called fat for the very first time. And it didn't matter how many people complimented me on my weight, how good I looked. I didn't feel it. And it had nothing to do with who I was then. And so there's these moments in our lives that they engrave on us, other people. But when you know that you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're whole outside of your body, outside of your personality, people can call you things and it doesn't affect you. It's like, oh, we're human. What people say matters. It affects us. But the one anchor that you can always have in your life is your own self-acceptance, your own recognition. And that is invaluable. When you see someone who's radiant, magnetized, confident, it's not because of what she has or who she is. It's because of how she feels about herself. It has nothing to do with her external and everything to do with complete self-acceptance for what she has inside. When you get compliments, when you're noticed, do you deflect the attention? Oh, you're cute too. Oh, I love your pants too. Ah, don't say that. Oh yeah, I know, I've been working on. Or are you able to hold the love and attention? It takes both, the ability to receive it without needing it, because it's just cherries on top of how you already feel about yourself. What you want to do is build a commitment to look for the evidence every single day. What are you doing right now? Where are you crushing life? What are you just doing so good? Celebrate that. Celebrate what you've overcome. Celebrate what you've accomplished. Acknowledge each day what you're grateful for and savor it. Hold it. Think about it. The more that you think about what you have, what you've done, and who you are, you amplify the feelings. And as you amplify feelings, you are able to hold the magic of radiance because of what you feel. It's like a marriage that needs tender, loving care, awareness, attention, intention. So does the relationship that you have with yourself. If you get noticed, complimented, appraised, receive it. Oh, thank you so much. Without giving the compliment back, without giving a reason or excuse, but to simply receive it. Be sure that every single day you're coming into practices that you can enhance, strengthen, and devote quality time with yourself. Educate yourself daily, inspire and motivate your brain, self-study. Participate in breathing exercises that enhance your energetic field. Sit and meditate. Look for the space between the thoughts. Journal. Take time to learn something new every single day. Listen to podcasts. You being here right now in the live energy. Move your body in some way to increase your confidence, your energy. You can swim, walk, exercise, lift weights, call a friend, a family member, drink water and eat healthy food. You are what you do every single day. The way you feel about yourself is based on what you think, what you say, and what you do. And your life is a practice. And what you do becomes a habit. It becomes a routine. Set up healthy routines in your life where you only check your phone around certain times, where you disconnect from your phone before and after bed. Have cell phone rituals and boundaries. And find a flow that you can stick to that works for you. Hold healthy boundaries with yourself around what you eat, drink, put into your body. And that means the people that you hang out with, your relationship to your phone, your own self-talk. Your environment is super important, who you hang out with, what you allow to come into your energy. It also reflects back to you the quality of your standards. What standards do you have for how you talk to yourself, what you eat, how much you work? What are the standards that you have for where you put your money, where you invest your time and energy? Because the standards that you have for yourself will be reflected back to you in the people that you attract into your world and how they treat you. Take time to appreciate who you are as you are. And acknowledge where you've been holding yourself back. It can be easy to listen to this and then go back to living your life. My invitation is that you give attention to the relationship you have with you. There is literally only one person you'll spend every single day with, all day and all night long. From now until death do you part. How can you raise your standards, strengthen your boundaries, implement healthy routines and practices into your life to be in a radiant relationship with you, where you begin to shine from the inside out? So what do? Stay devoted to who you're becoming. Continue to grow inside. Stay close to your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your actions. Begin to look what's happening within your mind, within your emotions. And you always can redirect and change routes and paths as necessary. You are the driver of your life. You're in charge of where it is that you grow. As you sit here, just think to yourself, how have you been in a relationship with you lately? What mala do you see coming up for you? Are you obsessed with yourself and how you look? Are you obsessed with what other people are going to think if you start your business or scale your business? Are you afraid of who you are and what other people think that you just aren't doing anything at all? When you think about where it is that you're at in your life right now and where it is that you desire to go, what's getting in the way? If you went all into what you truly wanted, your heart was calling you, what would you be doing differently right now? What action steps would you start taking in this very moment? And when you have that and you know that, it's time to change. And there's only one person in control of where you grow, where you go. And it's you, the one that can hold the past version of you and the one that can see the vision of you forward. You hold both, and bravely, courageously, you go. With no promise where you're going to end up, you go. I can't wait to hear how this lands with you. I feel so happy, so excited to have shared this time with you. I created this masterclass after giving birth and just remembering how important it was that I had my routines, my standards, my boundaries, and my practices to be the best mother, to remember that I could be patient when I had my practice, so that I could be a better person for him and for you. The more that I grow, the better leader I become, the bigger impact I get to have. And when you know the why, the how becomes easier, as Jim Rohn said. So if this training completes you, I'll see you online. But if you know that you're ready to dive deeper into the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions that you have with yourself so that you can become the most confident, radiant, magnetic version of you, to wildly expand your life and amplify the impact that you have on others, the doors now are open to radiate. And you get to be the first to know. Before I announce it to the internet, I am on a mission to empower women just like you to become the most confident, radiant, and magnetic versions of themselves, to fully unlock the gifts that you were given, your passions and your skills, so that you can have a bigger impact on the world. It starts with you. This program is for you if you're ready to do the inner work it takes to believe in all that you are and all that you already have. You've been looking for a program to show you how to have more time for yourself, accept all that you are, release any addictions to perfectionism so that you can feel so freaking good about who you are and all that you've accomplished. If you know that you're so ready right now to let go of old stories, that you're not enough, that you're missing something, and you know that now is the time to stop holding yourself back from what it is that you truly desire. This program is everything you need to invest into yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your words to create the best relationships in your life with you, your partner, your family, your career, business, and material wealth. Your external world right now is just mirroring back to you how rich you feel inside. Some of my current clients who have gone through these programs, I've always struggled with self-love, lack of motivation. But thanks to Amber, I now have the tools to help myself through the valleys of life, and it makes the peaks even more beautiful. Amber's program helped me realize the changes I needed to make that already resided within me, and it was my choice to make those happen. Life and health coach, mom of 3, Julie shares, Amber's course is the best I've ever seen. And I've tried self-help ever since I was a young teen. I've done everything. Nothing stuck. And nothing changed my course, my life like this course. Amber's compassionate and very engaged mentoring is one that has impacted my life. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Just imagine what you and I could be celebrating if you join Radiate and become the most confident and magnetic version of you with these tools. Who would you be? Who could you help? Think about it like this. How would your life change if you were confident in all that you already are? What would your life look like if you were going all in on what you truly wanted for yourself and for your life? Would it be more time doing the things that you love? Having more energy to enjoy your family? More money to invest in vacations and programs? Building a home? Would you have more impact on other people's lives, more clients than ever before? Would you feel more passionate and fulfilled in what you're doing? What's included in this mentorship is 3 live trainings with me, 10 pre-recorded videos to implement the practices and routines, 1 live question and answer where you'll get hot seat coaching, where we can personalize these teachings to your life, and a Facebook group of community. One thing that I love so much about what I have as a gift is to bring like-minded women together. The women who go through my programs come together on retreats. They end up talking every day on Facebook, collaborating in workshops and programs and podcasts. This in and of itself is worth it. The return on investment is going to be for a lifetime. And for the next 24 hours, early bird pricing is $333. After that, investment increases to $555. If you feel the pull, you know you're ready to radiate, I'll drop the link. You can sign up now. And if you have any questions, you can drop them into the chat. If you're listening to the podcast or you're on Instagram, you can send me a private message at Amber Hagberg on Instagram. Over the next 24 hours, 333 to join. And in 24 hours, it increases to 555. This is the time to begin to devote yourself to who you're becoming, to look at it as like the beginning of the year all over again, but it starts today, right now, for you, for your family, for your community, for your clients, for your career, for what it is that you want in your life. Everything that you have and all that you become starts from within. It all happens within. How you feel about you. And then when you know all that you are, how amazing and incredible you are, you radiate. You are seen. And it's nothing that you have to do. It's simply who you are. I am celebrating anyone that joins, anyone that takes the leap, and I'll see you inside of the program. Bye.